Adventure calls us into the wilderness, but sometimes danger answers back. From mysterious mountains in Taiwan to bear dens in Serbia, from ghost waterfalls in Brazil to pirate attacks at sea tonight, we're exploring 7 real outdoor encounters that turned deadly. These aren't staged thrills, they're genuine moments where nature, humans, and the unexplained collide. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to witness proves the wild is never truly safe. Number 6. On September 18, 2024, in Serbia, a young content creator crawled into what he presumed was merely an unoccupied cavern. However, it wasn't vacant, it was a bear's dwelling. He documented himself as the silhouette of an enormous bear materialized at the opening. The creature stepped within, only several feet distant, before gradually retreating. However, the peril wasn't concluded. When he attempted to crawl outward, the bear reappeared, lowering its head until it was inhaling his hair. He remained paralyzed, gripping the camera, murmuring, excessively frightened to respire.
Commercial break. Not fully wild bears. I mean, they are out in the wild. They're not in a zoo or anything. But there is someone who sort of takes care of them.
I mean, you're still not the person, and it's still a bear. Like, even a tame bear is still not a tame bear. Haven't you ever seen when animals attack?
I hate this. I hate that this is a thing.
Local media subsequently stated there were 2 bears in this region maintained by a caretaker, but this was no zoo. These were untamed animals, and in that shadowy dwelling, the bear didn't appear domesticated at all. He was fortunate to escape. The recording displayed everything: the constricted cavern, the massive creature obstructing the passage, and an individual who would approach far too proximate to death merely for attention, retreating away. Number 5. On February 27, 2012, in a tranquil region in Rio Claro, Brazil, a collection of tourists had halted by a magnificent waterfall. The acoustic of cascading water saturated the atmosphere, and the location seemed serene until something peculiar transpired. While documenting the scene, one of the tourists observed a shadowy, human-resembling figure gradually materializing from the water. It wasn't swimming, it wasn't ascending, it was merely ascending, its form excessively motionless, excessively unnatural. The figure stood for only an instant. Without forewarning, it descended back into the waterfall and vanished entirely. The water churned as though something had traversed through, but there were no splashes, no indications of movement afterward. The collection investigated the region but discovered nothing, no footprints on the moistened rocks, no one else in the water. The location seemed abruptly colder, and the cheerful acoustic of the falls now transmitted a peculiar substantial silence. Subsequently, when the recording was uploaded, numerous believed it displayed a spectre, possibly the spirit of someone who had drowned there long previously. Others declined to observe the recording a second occasion. The figure had materialized for only moments, but for those who observed it in person, that instant still persists like the coldness of the waterfall's vapor. Number 4. February 12, 2023, in Greece. It was intended to be an extraordinary expedition. He and his companion Kili were investigating the magnificent mountains and monasteries of Meteora, Greece. They experienced an excellent time hiking and even attempted some rock ascending. The climate was frigid, but the perspectives were breathtaking. They laughed, prepared shepherd's pie in their van, and appreciated the uncomplicated life. It was an ideal van life expedition.
Guys, we're gonna send out this video, but somebody just tried to break into the van. Not ideal.
No! What are you shining your light for? No! You're not police!
But all that transformed in an instant. Abruptly, a frightening acoustic ripped through the tranquil night. Someone was attempting to penetrate into the van. There were pounding acoustics originating from everywhere. He and Keely were paralyzed in terror. They were within, but the individual didn't care. The pounding on the van's doors didn't cease. They persisted, shouting and demanding that they open the doors. It was a nightmare. He frantically initiated the van and accelerated away, abandoning the shadowy figures behind. However, the terror didn't depart. He persisted, contemplating about what could have transpired.
Just kind of stranded on the side of a road.
To give a little context, We'd been looking at park for night in this area. There's some hot springs, like we said, we wanted to come to hot springs. So we've had where we've read park for nights before and had wonderful experiences. This was not that situation.
Alright guys, we parked up significant distance away from that other park up, but what can I say?
I'm really annoyed. Guys, the thing is for me, right, is the absolute audacity that they kept trying to get in the van and kept demanding that we open the van to them. And I'm like, what was their plan? Did they have a weapon? Were they trying to, like, how were they planning to steal everything while we were both here?
This wasn't a simple robbery. As he clarified in the recording, this was an assault. He was terrified because the thieves were prepared to be violent. They understood he and Keely were in the van. They didn't care. They intended to penetrate and seize their possessions no matter what it required. It was a violent, organized assault, not merely a crime of opportunity. The incident disturbed them to their core. It was a reminder that even in the most magnificent locations, malevolence can be horrifying. Number 3. On November 16th, 2024, in Crownland, she departed for a tranquil day of bushcraft camping. The sun was illuminating and she possessed the complete forest to herself. She transported her sleeping equipment, her cooking equipment, and even a little companion herb to maintain her company. Everything was proceeding perfectly. She chopped timber, discovered tinder for her fire, and established her shelter. She seemed secure and at tranquility, but that sensation didn't endure. Early in the morning, a white SUV had approached to her van. The operator, an individual, stated he and his girlfriend had been there earlier, and he had forgotten something. The individual ambulated into the forest, but she seemed uneasy.
Okay, let's get out of here. Backing out of here is low-key gonna be hard because I went out of my way to tuck my car into the woods so that it wouldn't be seen if that guy or anybody else drove past. And now I'm like gonna have to reverse out over the roots and stuff, which sucks. Okay. Me this morning thought this would be like a tomorrow me problem.
She anticipated in her van until the individual departed, even examining the vehicle to observe if the girlfriend was within. The tinted windows rendered it impossible to determine. She chose to relocate her van to a different location, concealing it further in the forest. She expended the remainder of the day attempting to appreciate herself, but she couldn't eliminate the negative sensation. Subsequently, around 4 p.m., as the day was concluding, she observed it.
All day debating if I even wanted to camp out, but I basically, like I said, I drove my van all the way to a new spot. I hid it in the trees. Like 4 p.m. rolls around and I see that same car. I know it was the same car because when I looked at the license plate, I saw his back window was gone and he just had like a garbage bag over it. And I saw a white SUV pull up in the distance, and then I saw it like stop where I'm pretty sure he saw me, and then he turned around and left, and as he was leaving I saw that like garbage bag on the back. I was very uneasy, like why did I see that man twice? Why did I never see his girlfriend that he mentioned? Why was he driving around a bunch of different campsites all day? I also don't...
The identical white SUV with a refuse bag across the rear window operated by. It halted. She was certain the operator observed her, and subsequently the vehicle reversed and departed. Her pulse commenced to accelerate. Why was this individual here again? She had to depart. She rapidly packed up everything, not even troubling to execute it neatly. She merely desired to escape there. The sensation of being observed, of being discovered, was excessive. The magnificent day had transformed into a terrifying race against time. She understood she had to reach home before darkness. She couldn't risk it. The sensation of terror was genuine and justified. She was a woman isolated in the forest, and an individual understood where she was. It was a horrible circumstance that rendered her seem vulnerable and frightened. Even though she possessed bear spray and a blade, she understood they wouldn't be adequate if she had to confront a human menace. The recording displays her tranquil day transform into a rush to escape, and her clarification of why she departed is a chilling reminder of the perils of being isolated. Number 2. On August 23rd, 2024, he returned to the forest where he once attempted to camp, but had to depart in the middle of the night. This occasion it was daylight. Would it still seem as incorrect as it did that night?
Phone on, but it's not attached to either camera. I'm just going to leave it continuously recording in case we hear anything again. That over there is the woods. Hey, some fellas. dog barking over there. There's a combine harvester going over there. It's a very windy day today. A friend of mine is really keen on heading back here with me, and
The wind howled through the vegetation. A canine barked somewhere distant away. A combine harvester rumbled in the distance. Normal acoustics, but something still seemed off. He possessed his camera. His microphone was documenting. If anything peculiar transpired again, he would capture it. Individuals had disputed over the acoustics he detected last occasion. Some swore it was a badger, others a wild boar, and some even stated a cow. But none of them concurred. That rendered it worse. How could so numerous individuals be so certain, but all state different phenomena? He reached the pathway where everything transformed last occasion. The instant he entered in, the sensation struck him again. A deep coldness crawled up his spine, his respiration captured in his throat. Subsequently, he observed it. The tree. The identical tree.
yes. Oh, bro, that is something. It's this tree.
The one that rendered him seem like he wasn't intended to be here. A surge of dread washed over him. His skin transformed cold. It was the identical sensation as before, like something was observing, like he was trespassing where he shouldn't be. He retreated away. The sensation diminished. He shifted closer again, and there it was, substantial as ever. His body screamed at him to depart, but why? A noise. Something is shifting behind the tree. Not the wind, not an animal, merely movement. His DSLR battery warning flashed. Of course. He compelled himself to ambulate further into the forest. He required to comprehend. The pathway stretched ahead, twisting into shadow.
Holy crap. That's genuinely impressive. Look, it goes across. What does it take to build something like that?
Subsequently, he discovered it, a shelter, a peculiar structure manufactured of timber, carefully constructed, not something random, not merely fallen branches. Someone or something had manufactured this. His respiration quickened. The wire was secured around it, providing its strength. It wasn't aged. It wasn't abandoned. The sensation of trespassing was returned, more substantial currently, worse than before. His intuition screamed. He wasn't isolated. The wind ceased. The forest transformed silent. His camera battery terminated. Something was here, observing, anticipating. For more recordings like this, make certain you strike the subscribe button and like this recording. Comment below which case you discovered the most horrifying. Number 1. On December 14, 2024, near the islands of Los Testigos, Venezuela, a sailing couple confronted something out of a nightmare. It was late at night. He was within documenting while Derry was sleeping. Subsequently, the acoustic of another engine interrupted the silence. He rushed outside and observed a small vessel excessively proximate. Panic saturated him as he hurried to rouse Derry. When he returned up, the horror had commenced.
I'll show you. As you can see there, the spices. Oh. Darcy! Darcy! Darcy, wake up! There's a boat! Get up! Oh, get up! Hey! Hey! What are you doing?
Two are already ascending on board. One grasped a firearm. He seized the individual's wrist and extracted him onto the ship, gripping on so the weapon would not discharge. He gripped the individual's neck until the firearm descended, subsequently forced him overboard. However, it wasn't concluded. Another individual assaulted Derry with a wooden club, striking Derry. He swung back with his arm, striking the assailant near the head. The individual toppled overboard into the shadowy sea.
We got attacked! We have to tap!
So his back was turned to me, and he was attacking Yvette.
I was mostly just protecting myself like that.
And so I just kind of swung as hard as I could with my left hand, and I ended up missing him with my fist, but I hit him with like my wrist area, on kind of like the side of his head, like around his ear neck area, and there was enough force to knock him completely overboard. And then we just ran back towards the cockpit. Yvette started the engines, and we just did our best to get out of there.
Behind them, the pirates vanished into the black water, but the terror remained. That night abandoned them with bruises, blood, and a memory they will never escape. The sea was silent again, but silence only rendered it worse. Which encounters shocked you most? These real experiences show adventure's dark side. Drop your thoughts below and share which terrified you most. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, stay alert out there. The wilderness holds more than beauty.